And here we go, live and well on a Monday morning, October 6th, 2014, Monday. Here we are with the Sell a House Wholesale Real Estate Training. We're on number 29. And good morning, John. How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Paul. It's a beautiful morning here in Phoenix. Weather's great, the best time of year, and I'm excited because, as I say every Monday, it's the start of a brand new week. There's a lot of potential deals just sitting there, waiting for me to noodle them, waiting for Paul to noodle those deals up out of the ocean of abundance that's out there in the marketplace for those who know where to fish. So we stumbled into some very interesting things over the weekend here, uncovered a hotbed of vacant properties and motivated sellers. So I'm extremely excited about this Monday, about this week to get going and just get out there and start my noodle, and start, I should say, not mine, but ours, because we're growing a team here, and start our noodling for the week.
Yeah, because, and that all happens because we're not satisfied with standing on the bank of the river with 4,000 other people and casting in the same worm to the same hole, trying to get that one fish that's in there. You know what I mean? We're not happy with that. That's why we go and throw down the pole, toss the worms back to the mud, down to our skivvies, and jump right into the river and noodle these properties out of locations where no one else is looking. And that's what we can offer you too, is the ability to know where these holes are, point you to the spot where you want to jump in the river, and reach your hand into the hole and pull out a deal, bing, bang, boom, just like that, and make yourself some money while everybody else is standing on the side going, gee, I wonder why these fish won't bite my worm.
I had a meeting on Friday with a aspiring new wholesaler. He happened to find you and I, Paul, from an ad on Craigslist. He hadn't seen any of these hangouts yet. And, I sat down and I talked with him, and I basically asked him, what his interest is in real estate, where he's gotten his information from, and what does he plan on doing to find deals. And I wrapped up the meeting with, do you understand that if you want to be successful in wholesaling, it's not about real estate, it's about sales and marketing.
You
And
probably could. I'll bet you could have answered that question. I bet you could have asked that question and answered it and said probably exactly what he was going to do, right?
that's funny. I'm glad. You know what? You jumped ahead of where I was going, but I pretty much knew the answer to every question I asked, and I knew what his reaction was going to be, to know that it's sales and marketing. At least you have to understand and accept that to join our team, because if you're not willing to get out there and promote yourself, promote the values of wholesaling, and promote yourself to sellers and to buyers, there's absolutely no sense for you to get into this business, because you'll fail at this business. That's the bottom line. That's the truth. And we're not about pulling punches here. We're about ramming our fists into the holes and pulling out the fish, as Paul said. We're noodlers. So we're aggressive and we speak the truth. And, it's funny. Every answer to that question, as Paul pointed out, I could have answered. He wants financial freedom. He wants to make more money. He just recently lost his job, and he doesn't want to do manual construction labor anymore, and he wants to do something that can generate money. And I applaud that. That's why most everybody gets into this business. Followed up with, what education have you done? He's told me he's got a stack of books that he's read. He's done a couple of live seminars. Rich Dad, Poor Dad was one, which I will say I've taken that. I've been through that, and there is, for the right person, being at the right frame of mind at that event, there was a ton of gold nuggets I pulled out that I've applied that helped in my success. But that's because I was, the 2% of the people in that room that are actually going to do anything with the information they learn. So, and then I asked him what his marketing strategy is, and after listening to him talk about all the guru crap that's being taught out there, and I do use the word crap because it doesn't work. He's employing realtors to bid at 65 cents on the dollar minus repair costs on properties off the MLS. And I can tell you right now that if you're watching this and that is your strategy to employ a realtor, have them bid on 65% of value minus repair costs on MLS properties, and that's what you think is going to bring you to the promised land, you need to email Paul and I at propertynoodlers@gmail.com. Give us a call and get set straight, because all you're doing is wasting your time, the realtor's time. You're never going to get a deal. 1 in a million, you'll get a deal. And
Yeah. If you're lucky enough to pull one deal this year out of that, you are going to be far ahead of the curve of most people that are doing that same thing.
yeah, it's slim and none, and Slim, he left town on that one.
And
But
that, we talk about the difference in the markets and all that, and where different locations around the country are in different places as far as what their market's doing. As a quote recovery from this crash and everything. And right now, I would highly believe that what you just said, John, that if anybody's doing that anywhere in this country, except for maybe some more rural areas around the country, just because of the fact that you don't have a lot of the competition for people that are out there doing anything at all in your area. You guys might have a little bit of success with something like this, but anybody in any of the 158 major markets of the United States, this ain't working. Done deal.
No way. No way. Don't let anyone con you otherwise. With that being said, too, asking some of the other things, and a lot of what he's doing is what everybody else is doing. And we're not giving away anything new here by saying that, oh, you know what, I'm sending letters to an absentee landlord list that I got with people that purchased prior to 2005. Well, that's amazing. You're sending out to a list that 40 other people in your market are sending out to, and I personally know the absentee owners that are receiving their letters, and they're not going to sell you the property at a discount because, number one, the market's changed. They know that we're in an up market. They're not desperate to sell these properties, and just because they purchased prior to 03, 04 doesn't mean they don't have a second mortgage or a loan they took out that over-encumbers the property, which eliminates the possibility of it being a deal. But most of these people are receiving multiple letters, and quite frankly, they're not even reading them. They're throwing them away because it's, at this point, clutter in their mailbox, and everybody's going after those people, and they know that, and they're not going to sell you a property at a discount. Bottom line, those absentee owner lists don't work, and that's one of the things that we're talking about here is that we are never satisfied with what we're doing. Well, we have satisfaction, but we're always, I should say, looking for the next step ahead, to stay ahead of the curve, stay ahead of what all the other wholesalers are doing and what all the other gurus are teaching wholesalers to do, and marketing strategies that the other gurus are teaching wholesalers to do, because it's put it this way, if you're paying $97 for a course online to teach you how to find properties, there's 1,000 other people in your market who have bought that program, out of which if 2% apply it, you've got 20 people doing exactly what you're doing. And you know what? Once there's more than half a dozen people in that niche, in any market, Phoenix has got 5 million plus people. Once there's more than a half a dozen people in a niche, the niche is dead, and it's time to move on and find the next one.
There's a reason why these programs, when you get them, they're pretty much everything that you get nowadays is online. There's a reason why there's no copyright date on them. All this stuff was pretty much developed and sold in the crash, in the bottom of the market, in 2008 through 2010. When the market was going down. Now, since the market has bounced up off the bottom and it's going up now, or has gone up and flattened out, or whatever position you're at, we're no longer going down. The point I'm trying to make is the promises of just do this and your phone's going to be ringing off the hook, That is the part that is the lie, because you don't have millions of desperate people out there any longer, that are just waiting and hoping for someone to call them and say, I'd like to buy your house. Now they've got dozens of people calling them, telling them that they would like to buy their house. So with that in mind, these people aren't desperate. They're not thinking that, oh, I hope someone will call me. Now they're going, I got 12 people that want to buy my house. I guess I'm going to try to get, the highest bidder. I'm going to get the guy that's going to be willing to pay the most amount of money. And 60%, 60 cents on the dollar minus repairs is by far not the most money. That's just the bottom line. It ain't happening. That's why nobody's, So you got to understand that with the marketplace where it is now, and this is nationwide, because turn on your television and watch any National Association of Realtors commercial feed you the bullshit of, oh, the market's great, properties are selling, everything's going up and up and up because I'm a realtor and that's all I know. No offense, realtors, I'm sorry, but that's just the hype that realtors push. That's the bottom line. That's what you are taught. So no offense to you if you're a realtor. There's a lot of good realtors out there, but then again, too, there's a lot of part-timers. There's a lot of people that really don't put in the effort to understand the market and do all these things. They just go by so realtors there's good ones and there's bad ones, just like there is everything else in the world, okay? So take that with a grain of salt. If you're a realtor, I apologize. But, like I said, if you don't know where the market is right now and you don't understand the fact that people aren't desperate to sell like they were 5 years ago, you can make some money doing this, following the system, doing all the things that they said, but you're not going to freaking get rich. You're not going to achieve financial freedom. You're not going to move to the promised land. You're not going to quit your job. You're not going to get any of those things that was the reason why you bought the program in the first place. You're going to make some extra money. You're going to find a deal here and there. That's if you stick with it long enough, to follow through and to put out enough more money. Because that's the other secret that they don't tell you in the hype before you buy, is the fact that here's the tools you need to actually do a deal, but to find a deal you're going to have to go spend more money. That's what they don't tell. That's where 50% of the people drop out right in the very beginning, because they get the program and they go, well, according to what this says, now I got to go spend a whole bunch more money to try to get a deal. And so they're like, I just spent my last $97 just to get this program. I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to go spend on freaking marketing, So anyway, that's the deal. That's where it's at. Understanding your market, understanding what's going on in the marketplace, and which is why, like I said, we've said this before, our program is different, okay? It's not just here's a bunch of tools, good luck, call me when you got a deal, okay? This is, hey, here's a deal, go get it, all right? It's right there in that hole. Jump in, stick your hand in the hole, and get that deal right now. And then when you pull it out of the hole, then I'll show you how all these tools work that go along with this, so you can get the deal done all the way and cash a check.
Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. propertynoodles@gmail.com. Send us an email. That's the basic gist of our program here. Is we're not going to teach you, theory about how to go and market to find the theoretical motivated seller by doing mass direct mail marketing campaigns, which I will say we do employ mail marketing campaigns, and it does work. But what we do here is very different, and we literally go out and get the deals. And we have created a system to narrow down where to go to find them. And it's an aggressive, it's in a very aggressive marketing system, if you will. We've got qualified leads, and we go right to the source of these qualified leads. And one of the things, Paul and I continuously stress throughout these hangouts is that you've got to be the right person, and you have to understand that, all right, if you hate sales and you hate marketing, and you hate promoting yourself, wholesaling is not a business that you should be in. But I'm going to throw this in. But if you do hate those, if you do think that you hate those things, there's a strong indication that you just have bad programming and you have a bad idea of what those things actually mean, and that you don't if you hate sales and promoting and marketing, and you don't understand what those things are. Because if you did, you would love those things. You'd understand that those things is what's going to give you financial freedom, and so just because you hear sales and promotions and you feel scared, that should make you question why you feel scared, why you feel that way, and you know what, get over it. Learn why you should love sales and marketing and love yourself enough to promote that and promote the value you have to offer. It's about, really it's self-confidence, and you know what you know, and you know what you don't know what you don't know, and you've got to ask yourself, what part of my belief system has led me to think negatively as sales and marketing? And if you have enough of that awareness, you have enough awareness to join our team, because we'll show you. We'll show you why sales and marketing is an important thing that everybody should embrace, if they're going to be financially free, that is. And
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll just I just want to say that we talked about this before, bringing up the fact that people that come here, they see our title of our Google Hangout that says real estate, wholesale real estate training, and then somebody might chime into our live broadcast here and going, oh, wholesale real estate, yeah, I'm interested in that. I want to see what's going on here with these guys, and they might jump in on a conversation where we're kind of talking about personal growth and personal development and what seems like anything and everything but wholesale real estate training. But in actuality, as John just mentioned, the fact that wholesale real estate has absolutely, I don't know if he didn't really say this, but I'm going to say it, wholesale real estate has absolutely nothing to do with real estate, okay? Real estate is simply just the product. That's all there is to it. So the fact that what we're promoting here and what we're talking about most of the time is sales and marketing and self-development and your ability to get into the position to be able to market and sell yourself, mostly more than anything else, sell your value to the marketplace. That's where most of these trainings, these hangout trainings, are focused upon. There's really only so much you can say about real estate. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. That's the programs that you buy. I mean, everything that's out there. I mean, it's there's certain things you can do. There's certain things you can't do, and there's certain things that can still be done if you're a little creative and you can do them a different way. That's all a little bit part of the learning process. But basically, I mean, real estate investing, it's pretty much just about negotiating, finding somebody that wants to sell, negotiating a deal, and then buying, and whatever you're going to do with it, knowing your end strategy of flipping, whether that's a quick flip, a wholesale, an assignment, or it's a fix and flip. You're going to do the work and sell the place yourself, or whatever, or if you're going to hold this place and put a renter in there and keep it for a long-term income stream. I mean, that's really about it right there. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. There's not a whole lot to this, and that's where people get buried. They get buried in the how. They get too caught up in the how, and they stop thinking about the why that they want to do this, and they just don't get out there and just do it. And then, of course, there's always the money factor, too. And like I said, they don't realize, because nobody ever tells them until after they purchase the products, that, there's more money to be spent, and where is this money spent? In sales and marketing. And that's the one area, too, that the programs don't spend any time on. It gets mentioned. Oh, yeah, you got to do this, you got to do that. This is how you're going to spend some money. They don't say you're going to spend some money, but, to find your leads, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do the other thing, which obviously you translate immediately into, well, I got to buy this, I got to buy that, I got to pay for those, I got to figure out how to set that system up, which is going to cost money, et cetera, and so on. And you just see money, money, money going out of your pocket. And that's where, again, most people fail, because they see money, money, money going out of their pocket, or they actually have money, money, money going out of their pocket, and because this is no longer, the depression of 2008 to 2011, where there's a desperate seller standing on every corner hoping for somebody to buy their house, um, they don't get the deals that they anticipate getting. I can tell you right now, our marketing campaigns, which during that time was bringing a 10 to 12% response rate, basically 10 or 12 phone calls for every 100 letters that went out, is now down to 1 to 2% response rate. I mean, it's just that simple because they're getting more letters now. There's a lot of people that are doing this now, and they're all looking and going after the same exact people. Now, we do that too. We're going after the same exact people, but we go after them in a whole different way, and from a whole different time frame and attitude and everything else. And that's why we're out there with all of our old and existing programs and systems. With our noodling system, we're probably closing, what would you say, at least 5-to-1 deals on that, at least?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I want to point out something you brought up just a minute ago. You talked about people getting caught up in the how. And back to my meeting Friday with a potential noodler that might be joining our team. He has to be thrown through the ringer a little bit before we accept him. You said people get caught up in the how, and that's one of the things that's holding this guy back from really going out there and getting aggressive. Is he's like, well, I don't know how to find a deal, but if I do find a deal, then how do I negotiate the price? How do I comp it to negotiate that price? Then how do I write a contract and get them under contract? Then how do I find a title company? Then how do I do this? And how do I do that? And how do I do this? And how do I do that? And you know what? They do absolutely nothing because they think that they have to have all this knowledge. Because what is the basic? You always hear this term everywhere you go, and it's such a bullshit statement. Is that knowledge is power, and people think that if I learn everything, I'm going to have all this power. And you know what? Knowledge is not power. That is important. Write it down because I was taught this in elementary school. I remember growing up hearing knowledge is power. And you're asking me, well, why? Well, if I know how to do it, no, you don't. Knowledge is not power. It's organized, specialized knowledge put into action that is power. It's taking the knowledge, organizing it, and put it into action. But you know what the beautiful thing is? The good news is you do not, to be successful, you do not need to know everything. In fact, you need to know very little. You just need to have an idea and a desire to do it. And you just need to align yourself with people who have the knowledge that you need. And that's one of the most important things to realize about the world we live in now is that we can't look at the marketplace and real estate and making money as something we're in competition with others. We have to realize that because of the framework and of today's society, the internet, social media, how much specialized knowledge it takes to do anything in this world, and that you have to realize you can't know everything. It's fucking impossible, but you need to find people who do to join you and collaborate with you. We're in the world that we live in is one of co-opetition, and it's cooperation that's going to make you rich. So whenever I hear somebody tell me, well, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that, I smile and say, you want the good news? You don't have to know everything because knowledge is not power. The power is in understanding that it takes specialized knowledge that you don't need to have. You just need to collaborate with people who have it, and then you point that knowledge, that collaboration, in a particular direction, put into action, and that's what's powerful. That's what's going to bring you wealth. And there's a plenty of people out there that know all the things that need to be done to complete a real estate transaction. You don't need to know it. You just need to be willing to step out of your comfort zone and meet people, promote yourself, and put together or join a team of people that have the information. And I want to toss it back to Paul. I kind of wanted to bring up the Henry Ford example, but I don't know if we have time. If Paul wants to talk about that, he can, but I'm going to throw it back to Paul.
Well, I don't know how to do this, John. So, hey, Okay, so what's stopping you? Well, I don't know how to do that. Okay, so what's stopping you? Well, I don't know how to do this. Okay, well, what's stopping you? Well, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. Okay, well, what's stopping you from taking action? Okay, who cares if you don't know how to do it? Just do it. Ready, fire, aim, right? You're ready? You're ready to make some money? You're ready to do this? Well, then freaking do it. Figure out how later. That's what a property noodler does. Join our team and we will get you doing it. Okay? Figure it out as you're doing it. We'll get you doing it. All right? That's all there is to it. Knowledge is power. Right. Wrong. Just like John said, knowledge is potential power. Okay? You can have all the knowledge you need. You can know everything that I just said. I don't know how to do. I don't know how to do. I don't know how to do. You can take a year or two or however long it's going to take you to go and learn all that stuff. It still ain't going to get you a deal. It still ain't going to make you any money. You're going to know how to do all this stuff, but until you put it all together, it ain't going to make you a dime. Okay? You got to get a deal. That's the only thing there is. That's the bottom line. All right? Organized knowledge. That's what John says. Organized knowledge. That's where the power lies. That's where the power comes from. Coordinated, organized knowledge. And as he was just going to talk about, Henry Ford was once considered to be a stupid man, and he was even put on trial to prove his ignorance by, I forget, somebody, whatever. And they asked him all these questions, and he answered every one of his questions with a perfectly acceptable answer. Not at all what the attorney had expected. Some crazy answer about but they all made sense. They all made perfect common sense. Of you're asking me this, but here's my answer, which nobody could dispute. And eventually he got to asking one question, and I forget exactly how this goes, but I love when I read this too. He finally looked at the attorney and basically said, why should I have to have that knowledge to be able to answer that question when I have in my office 10 buttons on my desk that for any question such as that, I can push a button and have a man pick up the phone and call me and give me the answer to that question. Why do I need to waste the space in my mind having the knowledge of the answer to that question in my head when there's someone else out there that knows it, and all I got to do is call them and get that answer for them? You know what I mean? So you don't have to you don't have to know everything. That's the great thing. You don't want to know everything. Are you kidding me? There's too much to know. You don't need to try to know everything. All you need to know is how and where to find the answers. And that's what Sell a House Arizona Property Noodlers program offers you. Okay? You don't have to have all the answers. We have all the answers for you. Just get the deal, and we'll answer the questions as they come up. You pick up the phone, you push the little button on your desk, and John or I picks up the phone and says, what's the question? Here's the answer. Okay? You don't know how? This is how. All right? Done. Simple enough? Okay, bye. I mean, that's all there is to it.
You know what? Truth is funnier than fiction. That's why I'm laughing, because it's true. It's true. People get hang up, and I talk to people all the time that want to do wholesale real estate, and they never take the first step towards finding a deal or contracting a deal because they're hung up on what's been coined as analysis paralysis. Well, what happens if I can't line up the investor to buy the deal from me? What happens if I can't do this? Well, how do I do this? And da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And they take no action. As Paul said, ready, fire, aim. You know what? On our team, you know enough to go out and get your foot in the door. All we're asking people to do is open the door, get the foot in. The next step comes, just get your foot in the door. You're ready. Now fire. And then we will zero in on the deal. Just take action. That's the most important piece, and that's one thing Paul was talking about, organized knowledge. Well, the next key is that you got to put that organized knowledge into action. So Yeah, that's all I'm throwing in, and let Paul kind of wrap us up here as we're at our 9 o'clock mark.
Yeah, I just want to say, we talked about the fact that there's not a desperate seller on every corner anymore. You know what? But there still are desperate sellers out there. There still are people who are motivated, highly motivated to sell. It's just the fact that in the same um, routine ways of contacting these motivated sellers, there is far too many people doing it. Okay, you need a unique and different way to be able to contact these motivated sellers before the masses, before your competition is doing so. When you have a motivated seller and somebody comes and you're the person that comes to them and says, hey, here's the solution to your problem, they have no desire to go look anywhere else. They have no desire to pick up the phone and call 5 other people. They have no desire to go online and look and try to find somebody else who's going to do them going to bring them a better deal. You walked up to them, you brought them the best deal that they even had no clue about possibly being able to do. They're all on board. They're right there with you, and they're going to be there with you right to the end until they close this deal and you make your money. That's the T. That's the T. That's the ticket and the key. It makes the T.
Yeah, that's the
ticket. So, but that's the difference between the property noodler program and your general standard wholesale real estate program. Okay, get to the deal before the competition. That's the bottom line. And once you got to the deal first, I mean, you're pretty much locked in. It's a rare case that either A, somebody flat out turns down our offer or our deal or our opportunity, or B, that somebody will ultimately shop our offer or our deal to someone else and ultimately go to someone else. It's a very rare case that happens. When we show up and when we make our deals and our offers, 99% of the time, they're happening. So with that, we're going to end today's call, as we always do, with the Napoleon Hill prayer that says, "O divine providence, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom, which with to make better use of the riches that you have given me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to fire to whatever end I might desire." All right? That's it. All right, guys. We'll see you back here again Wednesday morning, 8:30 a.m., and will we be talking about real estate, or will we be talking about personal development, or, whatever the case is, you need this information. So send an email to propertynoodlers@gmail.com and get your butt off the couch and get a deal and get a check in your bank. Anything you got left to close this out with, John?
I'll see you on Wednesday.